Hi guys, I'm Lucy Jo and welcome to Bishop Stortford, where we are at the Handmade kitchen company. We are trying out some recently installed appliances from Wolf and we've got lots of goodies to make up, so let's get on with it. So we're going to be making some homemade pizzas, and I've just, as you can see, whipped up a really simple pizza base. It's water, flour, a little bit of olive oil, salt, sugar and yeast. That is totally it. Kneaded a bit and whacked into a bowl that is lightly greased. And we've got a Wolf's warming drawer here, which it will be perfect to prove with. You can use from anything to warming up your plates before dinner to defrosting your food, but on this occasion we're going to be using it to help our dough rise. So we're going to bring it over, and as you can see, I've already set the timer because it's going to need about 40 minutes in here, and all you have to do to activate it is press the on button, and then I've pressed this button here that's for proofing especially, and the whole thing will go for you and you can adjust your times and just using the arrows up and down, and that will be that for the next 40 minutes. So we have our dough proofing in the warm drawer at the moment, and we've kind of shifted focus now to our dessert, which are going to be chocolate fondants. We've got all of our ingredients out ready. I have prepared some ramekins already. They are buttered and in the freezer to get a bit cool, but I've actually got a lot of butter on my hands, so I'm just going to wash it using the Cooker boiling water tap, which has the soap dispenser attached to the side. And I'm going to use it again in a second to get some boiling water to melt my chocolate and my butter. I'm going to fill up my saucepan with some boiling water from the boiling water tap. All you've got to do is pump it twice and then twist it to the side. That should be perfect. And to unlock these cookers, you've got to actually keep your finger on the unlock pad, which is quite good for safety. So I'm just going to whack my butter in, followed by dark chocolate, and pop it over the boiling water. And within a minute and a half, you should start to see it melting. So I've just pulled my ramekins out of the freezer. They've been in there for about 10 minutes now, and I'm giving them a second coat of butter. And then we're finishing them off by sprinkling some cocoa powder in and making sure they're fully covered all the way around. And that will stop the fondants from sticking once they're cooked. The aim is that you just have the ramekins fully coated like that, and that should stop the fondants from sticking completely. And I mean, a little bit of extra cocoa is never a bad thing really. So now that my chocolate is melted, I'm just leaving it to cool on the side for a bit. Ramekins are prepped, and we're just gonna whack in the eggs, a few more egg yolks, getting it all in. And then the sugar. So yeah, all the ingredients are in this mixing bowl. Gonna mix it until it leaves a trail. And let that do its thing for a few minutes. Now that my eggs and sugar have whisked up until they've left a trail, I'm gonna add the flour, keeping it still in the mixer because I'm just going to whiz it all up again, and have my chocolate ready. So now, just on a really gentle speed, we're going to whisk it all up together until the mixture's thickened. Now that that's thickened up, we're just going to add our chocolate. and it's cooled down now. So it shouldn't take too long to mix in, and just keep it on a gentle speed until it is all mixed in. Let me get all the scrapes. Right, that has mixed perfectly, and I think we're ready to get it into, even if you've got a measuring jug, anything that will pour nicely into the ramekins should do the job. So I'm just going to whack it into here. It's really, really thickened up at this point. And because the mixture's quite thick, you're going to need a scraper to get all of the chocolate. So this recipe is really, really good if you're having dinner parties, people over, because you can actually freeze it up to a month, and then from frozen, just cook it for 5 minutes longer than you would normally. So it's really, really good to get prepped in case you're running out of time. And also it's pretty impressive when they come out all nice and gooey, so your guests should love it. And all I'm doing is making sure that they're equally divided by each ramekin. And if there's any left over, I'll just make sure they're all full to the absolute top. I'm gonna need that spoon again. And it's definitely worth having a spoon on hand because, as I said, the mixture is so thick, it doesn't really want to come out too easily. Right, they are all good to be popped in the oven now. So now we're going to pop the fondants into the oven, and I'm actually going to introduce my favourite appliance from the Wolf Oven collection. This is a convection steam oven, and we are just going to whack it on. So here you can see how many features the oven has. We're actually going to use the convection oven, but you can have a convection steam, convection humid, and this is my personal favourite, the reheat feature, which doubles as a microwave and does it in a way that it heats the food up with steam, so there's no danger of your food being dried out when you reheat it. But as I said, we're going to be using the convection side of it. So it tells you that where to put it in the oven, and if you're not too sure as to where that is, you've got the numbers on the side guiding you. So we'll whack it on position number 2, that's already in place. Next, you can set a temperature. All you have to do is use this middle button as an OK button, and that gets you from A to B. We're going to set it at 180, pressing that OK button again. Move over to the duration, and we're going to set a timer for 10 minutes. And as you can see on the dial here, you can range from 10 seconds to 10 hours. So that gives you a lot of opportunity there. And that's it. We're going to press go and let the oven heat up. It shouldn't take long at all, maybe about a minute. And then the fondants will be ready to go in. Okay, we're going to get them out now. They smell so good. Perfect. So to get these out, I suggest using 2 gloves, just because they're super hot. And you want to get a knife and just make sure you go around the whole fondant until it pulls away from the sides. So you can ensure that when you tip it over, it should come out really nicely like that. And now here's for the million-dollar question. There it is. That's exactly the kind of gooey consistency you want. And now served best like a lot of things with a big scoop of ice cream. So before I've got my toppings ready, I am just preheating my oven. I'm using the Wolf M Series Pro, and it's actually got a pizza stone in it, so this should be perfect for cooking, and it probably won't take much longer than 10 minutes. Our 40 minutes is up, and our dough, as you can see, has pretty much doubled in size at this point. So now it's ready to be rolled into pizzas. This will probably make 2. And yeah, it should be nice and foamy like this, really. Don't worry if it sticks to your hands, that's all part of it. So I have really quite generously sprinkled flour over my worktop. So now we're just gonna roll it out, and this is all up to you, how you wanna jazz your pizza up, what toppings you wanna put on. We've gone for ham and cheese today, and it should take about 10 minutes to cook. I quite like a thin base, so I'm gonna roll mine out quite thick. Any odd shape and size should do as well. So, first of all, I'm going to whack on some passata. And you actually don't want to put too much on because pizzas do have the tendency to go a little bit soggy in the middle. So don't go crazy on the passata, and make sure you leave a little edge for the crust. We are going to just whack some tomatoes in, really, really simple. Again, not too many because you don't want it to get too moist. On with the mozzarella, because what would a pizza be without mozzarella? This is the fun bit. You can just whack on anything you really want. We're throwing some green olives on top. Some sun-dried tomatoes, and I think I'm probably going to put all of this on. This is just prosciutto ham. Yeah, we're definitely going to use all of this on this pizza. And then to finish off, just sprinkle a bit of rocket on top. And that's it. That is your pizza, all good to whack in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how you like your cheese cooked, really. So now our pizza is fully prepped, and we've popped it on this pizza paddle, which actually also comes free when you order the Wolf Pizza Stone. So now let's get it in. And we'll wait about 10 to 15 minutes for that to be perfect. So the pizza's in the oven, and the oven's completely preheated. So now we just whack on the timer and simply scroll, select how long you need. We're only gonna go for, let's put 13 minutes maybe. Set, and that's it gone. And now that it's done, I'm just going to finish with a little bit of garnish. So adding a little bit more rocket, and then some fresh basil leaves as well. And we've actually got some smoked sea salt to whack on top. And that's it, that's our pizza. And if you can see that, our crust is super thin, super crusty, just how we wanted it. So for a really quick dessert, or maybe something to go alongside your chocolate fondants, we are just gonna whip up really, really quickly some chocolate covered strawberries, and we're just gonna put the chocolate directly into the saucepan, because the Wolf induction hob actually cooks on such a gentle heat, as well as a really, really high one, that you don't need a bain-marie, which, I mean, works, but is a little bit of a faff. So we're just gonna whack this chocolate in here, get it on the hob on a super low heat, and dip in our strawberries. So to unlock, all we do is hold our finger on the lock for a few seconds and then click the on button for whichever hob you've chosen. And because we're going on a really low heat, I'm just gonna slide my finger across to the first point. And as I said before, it won't actually start working until your hob's on, and it'll work just in the space that your hob is sat on. And that should take a couple of minutes. It's already beginning to start to melt. It's so important to not let your chocolate overcook though, because once you have, it starts sticking to the pan and there's really no point of return at that point, and you'll have to start again. So make sure you just keep gently stirring it, and you'll know when it's all melted to take it off the heat immediately. So now our chocolate's all melted, just gonna turn the hob off and add a tiny bit of honey. It just kind of makes the dark chocolate a little bit sweeter and the strawberries a bit glossier. And that is perfect, not overdone at all. And I feel like strawberries covered in chocolate are good for absolutely any occasion, on cakes, on their own, summer, winter. So it's a bit of a win. Thanks so much for watching this post, and stay tuned to find out what we have in store next time. I've loved using these Wolf appliances, and I actually can't believe how much time I've saved overall in making these 3 products. And now I can't wait to dig in, so see you soon.